Hello, bonjour everybody. Welcome to my channel. Thank you for watching my video and special thanks for those who subscribe to my channel. Today in this video we're going to talk about Flames of War. Does it worth your money? We'll see Bagration Axis allies. It's the Hungarian, the Romanian and the Finnish forces on the Eastern Front 1944. So it's just been released a few weeks back. So my friend just received his book. He lent it to me. He offered to lend it to me so I can make a review on it and see does it worth your money or not to play with that. So let's look at it. So first of all, I'm gonna just say I'm gonna go through. I will not go in depth with every Hungarian, Romanian, and Finnish forces. We're gonna just look at the armored vehicle in general for each of those three forces. The idea behind is if you intend to play Bagration Axis allies, then that means you're going to confront yourself against IS-2, IS-85, ISU vehicles, so big with the armored of 910, like the German, they have armored 910 with the PANTHER, the Panzer 470, or the Tiger. So we are at that point of war with Flames of War, late war, where most of the vehicles have a front armor and a side armor between 8 and 10 in many cases. And I believe that people who play, they don't care to make it a fun and fair game. Many just want to destroy the enemy and any means to do so. So that bring you with the Axis ally. If you don't want to build your force, can I be against a Soviet force built mostly with IS-2 and ISU vehicle? So let's see one force at a time. So let's look at the first country, the Finnish, and what they have for armored vehicle. So we know they have the T-34-85. So front armor is not that well when you arrive at Bagration level in late war. But the anti-tank is 12. Most of the time you may encounter is going to be IS-2 and ISU vehicle, where most of them they have front armor of 9-10, so not much margin to destroy the vehicle in front, but you can be lucky. If you play the T-34 with the 76, then with an anti-tank of 9, you will need more than luck. You will need to hit them in the back and have lots of luck to be able to destroy your vehicle in front of you most of the time. And those you will have play against will probably roll firepower right away if they hit you. They have the key V1, but front armor and side armor excellent, but an anti-tank of 9, you're stuck like the T-34 76, no firepower, but you're more solid so you can sustain with a bit of luck longer on the game. Then they have the Sturmy, and the Sturmy is like the Sturmgeschütz of the German. So they have pretty much the same stat. The only difference will be the skill and the motivation for them. The anti-tank is 11 and front side armor are 7-3, hit on 4, motivation 3, remount 2, veteran 3, assault on 4+. So basically they are really strong. And if you are under attack, the remount is 2, last stand is 3, skill is 3, so you can do a lot of movement with them and a good chance to win your role. So not that bad. But they are pretty limit with an anti-tank of 11. I don't play the STUG against the Soviets right now because they show up with IS and ISU and you will not destroy any of those vehicles. Then we're already to the infantry and support. So if they have something in support, do they have a big gun? They have the ISU 152 Capture. And you can see the front armor is 9-8. So when you play a STUG with 11 anti-tank, 10, 11, you're almost there already. So more than likely, you will not destroy the ISU or the IS-2. And it shows just that. And the ISU 152 with an anti-tank of 13, you start to have a good chance to destroy. But if they shoot at your Finnish vehicle, they almost firepower directly after they hit you. And for the rest, they don't have much with Instinct 7 here, Instinct 7, so you will not go that far. Instinct Platoon 9, Instinct Platoon 12 start to be, but not much more better, or not much better, I should say. And then when you go artillery, the same way, the instinct is not really there. And then you have anti-aircraft. That's going to be a waste of money, an happy battlefront for you to waste your money on something you will never use. You have the STUG, the same thing, waste of money, but happy for battlefront to put there, hoping you get stuck in and buy them. So that's complete the finish. I will not play the finish against the German or the Soviet, and for the British and the American, when they will have this fall the new version of their book. So I think they call Battle of the Bulge for the American or British. You will find that your force is not able to play against them because you don't have enough firepower or armor on your vehicle. Now the second one we look at it is the Hungarian, and what we have for the Hungarian. The Hungarian show, let's start first with PANTHER. You have a good stat on them, 951, that's saying 14, not too expensive. The reason for that is their skill is 4+, and your last stand is going to be a 4+, because motivation is 4+. But for the rest, the instinct and the armor are there. But if you want to build a PANTHER tank company, you cannot mix like the German are able to do with Bagration German, but only stuck with full of PANTHER, or you don't have a formation compared to the German where you can have command, one platoon, and the next platoon can be something else like the Tiger or Panzer IV. This one is PANTHER, PANTHER, PANTHER all along. You got the Tiger Tank Company. The same principle apply like for the PANTHER. They are a bit cheaper, but the stat is a bit worse when we talk about motivation and skill. And also, as you can see, self-propelled a platoon only for the Tiger and the PANTHER with the Nimrod, so a waste of money there for the Nimrod. But those two, the Hungarian already start with something that can fight in the late war Bagration. But then we arrive with the TURAN with an instinct of 9, so you will not use that. Front armor 5, not much use. Then you get the Toldi, it's even worse with an instinct of 7 and front armor of 3 at the max, depending of the version of the Toldi. Then you get the Panzer IV. Already the Panzer IV HO is age with the 11 instinct, but the front armor 6. If you play against someone who played the T-34 85 or T-34 76, you're there, but I think we passed that most of the time with Bagration German, Soviet. And that complete, and we find ourselves with the STUG 731, so they're the same stat, but the motivation is excellent with fearless 3, skill 3, so they really have a good use, the Finnish and the Hungarian with the STUG, highly trained troops in it, so it showed that on the stat, and then the price is pretty cheap. You got the Edzler. They have a skill 3. I think it's better stat than the German have with their Edzler. Motivation 4, but otherwise not really there. Front armor 7 and an instinct of 11, but it's overworked. So if you have a defensive position, you might do well against T-34, but IS and ISU, you will not do well. Then we are into infantry. And I'll support waste of anti-aircraft money, waste of money over there. So you can pass on that, and we're pretty much done. The last would be, we call them is the Romanian. And the Romanian, we play with really outdated vehicle already with the R2, R35, and T-38. Then we have a T4 with an instinct of 11. It's basically a Panzer IV, the stat of a Panzer IV, but the motivation and the skill are not there. Then we can go a TA Assault Gun Company, and a TA look like a STUG. The stats are the same, 731 for the armored, instinct 11 with a firepower of 3. But when we look at motivation and skill, you're not there at all. You're pretty bad. But that gave them for cheap. So a lot for cheap. If you play maybe a Bagration German and you want to bring those as a support for your unit, you can have something for really cheap that's worth more than the Hetzer for the German, because you make a platoon of 3 of those with an instinct of 11, firepower of 3. They are not overworked, and the armor is 7.3, and can hit on 4. So you can sit in the back, don't move them, and just fire at the enemy when they arrive. Then we're already in the motor rifle. They have instinct, the TACAN, but the instinct is 10. The front armor is only 3, not much use. Then you get the T60 Tank Hunter Platoon, where they have an instinct of 12. Make it a bit more interesting, but shoot first and die second, because the front armor is 3. And then we have the normal instinct gun, armored car platoon. You have cavalry, a bit late for late war. Then the waste of anti-aircraft and Stuka plane, and we complete. So if I was to build, I would build Bagration, Axis, and Allies? I will not. That's a complete waste of money. But on the other side, if Battlefront Flames of War will have put that with Fortress Europe at the beginning like that, then it becomes an interesting game, because you don't see the IS-2, and we don't see ISU 85 or the ISU yet, and you have a good opponent to play with. But because now we are so late in late war, this is not a late war book. So they should have put that with Fortress Europe, but about that's it. So early late war. But to be perfect, that should have been into mid-war. That would be a great book, Bagration, Axis, Ally, mid-war. It is great. If one of my friends want to play with those and say, let's play a mid-war to be fair to everybody, I'll say yes. I'll bet a mid-war Soviet or mid-war German to play, or the Allied, to play against your Axis, Ally, Bagration. Because the quality of the vehicle inside that is a mid-war quality. But they try to make people get to it, buy them, and then figure out by themselves that they waste your money. You're wasting your money. So don't waste your money with that, except, again, if you play with friends that are nice and you want to have fun, you may have a fun game if on the other side your friend decides to build an opening team that reflects the poor quality of your vehicle. In this case, if I'm a Soviet, if I don't go with the IS-2 or 85, or I don't go with an IS-2 vehicle, then I can have some fun playing with someone who play Axis and Allies in late war. But most of the time, if you want to bring, they will try to beat you in every way, and that's why you need a force that can counteract IS-2, IS-2, and the German, they have the Panther, the Tiger, and they have the Panzer 470. In this case, you have nothing of those, so you will not survive long on the battlefield, except if you decide to use the Tiger and the Panther from the Romanian. So I hope you enjoy. Hope you understand that it's not a really good book for when they started to put it. But if you decide to purchase and think, I'm going to build something for mid-war if my opponent accepts that, it's a fun mid-war book that the Battlefront decided to put it as a late war just for your money. because they know when you build that or you start to look at it in depth, there's no value to play that in late war. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy. See you soon with my next video. Bye-bye.